Hey everyone, today I'm going to show you how to make a macrame keychain. You'll need some macrame string. I'm using a 3mm cord and I have 4 strips that are 25 inches each. You'll also need 2 wooden beads, and you have to make sure that the hole in the middle measures as large as 2 times the width of the strings. You'll also need a lobster claw and an O-ring and a pair of scissors. You may also want to use a clipboard to hold the key ring while you're tying knots, but you can also use tape to anchor it on the table. The first step is tying all 4 strings onto the O-ring using a lark's head knot. You fold them in half and loop them over the ring, pulling the strings through to secure them. If you've never macrameed before, it can be a little difficult to get the hang of it. The hardest part is getting the right type of knot, and it all comes down to the directions that you're pulling the strings and the amount of tension you're applying while doing so. I've learned that the best way is to pull slowly and finagle the strings until the knot sort of pops into place. You'll see what I mean when we get started. To begin, take the 2 middle strings and lay them diagonally across the sides like this. We're going to be tying diagonal half-hitch knots from the inside toward the outside. And you always want to begin a new set of knots with the strings crossed like this. Holding the string in your left hand at the diagonal, you'll take the one underneath, cross it over and through the hole, and then pull it gently. Do this 2 times. It's really hard to verbally explain what I'm doing, but if you watch my hands, I hope it makes a little bit more sense. And you're just going to continue knotting these double half hitches with the remaining working cords, ensuring that your holding cord is always positioned diagonally, meaning it always crosses over the next one. Each knot will be slightly lower on the holding cord than the previous one. You'll notice that I'm pulling the knots pretty slowly, and I'm just waiting for the knot to sort of pop into that Fruit Loop shape. I know it sounds silly, but in my mind, they look like a stack of Fruit Loops. And now just repeat the same exact thing on the other side. You want to be careful that you're not pulling the knots too tight. For one, you won't be able to take them out if you mess up a knot, and 2, the keychain will not really lay flat at the end if there's tension in places where there shouldn't be. Now place one of the beads on the 2 middle strings. And now we want to tie knots from the outside in to hold the bead in place. It's the same exact knot as before, you're just going the opposite angle and direction on each side. When you get to the middle, make sure that you cross these two strings in the direction that you came from, just like all of the other knots, before you begin tying your double half hitch. Now just continue the diagonal down to the left, and when you're finished with that, continue the diagonal down to the right. String another wooden bead on the two middle strings, and then repeat the same process that you did for the first bead, just closing in that bead. When you're all finished, you want to gather all of the remaining string together, identifying the longest strand, and you're going to use that one to tie all of the other strands together. If you want to go the extra mile, you can fray the bottoms of the strings with your fingers. And that's it. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next time.